Over the last 2 summers, I've picked up nearly 60 new coaster credits. Getting all of these new credits involved traveling to many amusement parks I'd never visited before. As of now, I have visited a total of 15 different amusement parks, only 5 of which were not located in the Midwest. Having never done a park ranking, I thought now would be a great time to rank all of the ones I've been to. Well, almost all of them. I won't be ranking the 5 Florida parks I've visited. Having not visited Orlando since 2008, and considering how many new things have come and gone since then, I just don't feel I could give a very effective analysis of any of them until I make a return. So no Islands of Adventure, SeaWorld, and none of the 3 Disney parks I've visited. So this will just be a top 10 video. Welcome to Ejector Airtime, and these are my top 10 parks 2023 edition. Before we get started, make sure you take the time to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Also, be sure to give this video a like as that will really help against the YouTube algorithm. Bringing up the rear is Arnold's Park in Iowa. I made a stop at this park on my way back from Minnesota since it wasn't too far out of the way on my return home. The main attraction here is the 1930 wooden coaster called The Legend. With a smooth ride experience and airtime with buzz bar restraints, it's a surprisingly fun coaster. From a thrill seeker standpoint, this is just not a park you spend very much time at. You come for the coaster credits and that's about it. With free parking and admission and a number of kid-friendly rides, this is a very good park that's geared towards families. The best thing about this park is it's setting right alongside Lake Okoboji. The view of the lake from the Ferris wheel and from the Legend is fantastic. I think I only stayed at this park for like half an hour when I passed through. Like I said, it's not a very big park and there isn't much for thrill seekers, but it's still a nice little park nonetheless. At number 9, I have Nickelodeon Universe in Minnesota. Even if you've never been to this park, you've more than likely heard of it, as it's located right in the center of Mall of America. Walking into this place is an experience in itself, as you can't truly appreciate just how big this place is until you visit in person. It's amazing just how so many different rides and attractions could be packed into one building. Nickelodeon Universe features 4 solid coasters including Pepsi Orange Streak, which takes you on a tour around the mall, and Rock Bottom Plunge, which is a great Eurofighter. On top of this, rides like Shell Shock, the Log Chute, and the Splatosphere Drop Tower are also quite fun. I love how bright and colorful this park is, and even though this is another family-friendly park, the fact that it's located inside the largest indoor shopping mall in the country helps to make it more of a full-day experience. As an added bonus, the park is open year-round. Just make sure you check their website so that you know if specific rides are going to be closed for maintenance during the time that you choose to visit. Number 8 is Lost Island in Waterloo, Iowa. This is one of the newest amusement parks to open in the country, and it is definitely one that I wish I could rank higher. Having a very small ride collection and a lack of shade, this is a park that needs time to grow and expand. What makes this such an incredible park is the well thought out theming. I go more in depth in my review of this park about the different themed areas, but each area is centered around the elements of earth, fire, air, and water. My favorite thing about each realm is how the rides and the paths are all color coordinated. The day that I visited Lost Island, there were so few people in the park, not a single ride even had a line. Both of the major coasters were walk-ons, and I was the only person on each one. I actually rode Matugane 3 times without having to get off since nobody was in line each time I returned to the station. People really need to get out and check out this park. It would be really disappointing to see this park close before it even has a chance to expand and develop further. It has so much potential. It could even end up becoming the best park in Iowa. Speaking of which, I have Adventureland at number 7, which is currently the top park in the state. This park has been hard at work over the last 7 years making improvements with many new rides for all ages. This included the addition of 4 new coasters in a short period of time, including a Zamperla Jr. coaster, a Maurer Spinner, an SNS 40 Free Spin, and of course, Monster, which was the first Gerstlauer Infinity coaster to be built in America. Palace Entertainment has been working wonders for Adventureland. Similar to the other parks I've mentioned so far, this one primarily gears towards families. For thrill seekers, Monster makes the park worth the trip. The coaster collection is solid and is continuing to grow, so we'll just have to wait and see what they come up with next. Number 6 is Valleyfair in Minnesota. This was a park that I walked away from fairly surprised. Maybe I went in with lower expectations, but I ended up having more fun at Valleyfair than I initially thought that I would. Renegade and Steel Venom are fantastic coasters, and both Excalibur and Wild Thing are pretty decent as well. I also love their SNS Drop Tower. I didn't visit their water park, but it does look pretty impressive, and the Planet Snoopy section was very well done. The atmosphere at Valley Fair is very bright and enjoyable, and the staff I interacted with were all very friendly and helpful. I noticed a number of staff members walking around keeping the paths clean, and even though ride-ops were a little inconsistent, they all had a good sense of humor and weren't stapling me on any of the coasters. The one thing that holds this park back is the lack of a true standout coaster. The park needs another solid coaster with inversions more than anything. Number 5 is Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri. Living in Nebraska, I consider this to be my default home park, and I think it deserves a bit more love. Prowler, Patriot, and Mamba are all solid top coasters. Timberwolf is not as bad as some make it out to be, and the new Zambezi Zinger has been a decent new addition that could potentially lead to this park getting new capital in the future. Worlds of Fun also has a pretty solid collection of flat rides, both thrilling and family-oriented. There's also a few surprises throughout this park. I love the topiary clock over in the Africa section, and there's also a few animal-shaped hedges around the park. They have lots of plants that make this park look really nice. The park is gradually improving, and I think Worlds of Fun could possibly get another solid coaster within the next 3 to 4 years. Number 4 is Six Flags Great America. This is the only Six Flags park that I've visited so far. I walked away from it thinking that it left a really great first impression. This is one of the best parks for thrill seekers. The coaster collection here is one of the best in the country, with rides like Raging Bull, Goliath, Superman Ultimate Flight, X-Flight, and the original Batman Invert, just to name a few. There are also a number of great thrilling flat rides in this park that are all amazing. This is another park where the staff were some of the best I've ever encountered. The ride-ups here were all very friendly, efficient, and some had a really good sense of humor. This is definitely a top-tier Six Flags park with very few gaps in its coaster lineup. At number 3, I have Kings Island near Cincinnati, Ohio. For coaster fans, this park has been a must-visit for many years, starting with the Racer in 1972, a coaster that helped to kick off the second coaster renaissance. This park saw a number of first-of-their-kind attractions over the years, like the original Bat, Vortex, and the infamous Son of Beast. Today, the park still maintains a very iconic lineup: the Beast, Diamondback, Banshee, Mystic Timbers, Orion, all top-tier coasters. The park covers 364 acres and features a number of great filler coasters and a great variety of thrill rides. 18 years in a row, this park's Planet Snoopy area has been voted by Amusement Today as being the best kids area in the world. This park has a mostly circular layout, so it's pretty easy to get around, and they also feature a wide variety of great food options. The ride operations are some of the most efficient I've ever seen, as on Memorial Day weekend, they were sending out coaster trains incredibly fast and keeping the lines moving. This is easily one of the best parks in the country, definitely worth spending multiple days at. Number 2 is Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. This is another park that was kind of hard to rank, the reason being that it's quite possibly the best theme park in the country that isn't a Disney or Universal park, but at the same time, navigating this park is pretty exhausting. Silver Dollar City is located in the Ozarks, a very mountainous area with a lot of uneven terrain. Some of the paths in this park take you up and down pretty steep hills, and there are also more than a few dead-end paths. If you visit this park, I recommend you not only drink plenty of water, but bring comfortable shoes for all of that walking. Despite this, I think it plays pretty well in the park's favor. It's almost like it was designed to get you lost, so that you're getting the full experience of being transported back in time. The theming of this park is incredible. The park has many areas designed to give the experience of being back in the late 1800s. Some of the features include a blacksmith, demonstrations of glass blowing, and a wide variety of homemade foods. I highly recommend you try the cinnamon bread. Of course, this park also has several impressive coasters such as Time Traveler, Outlaw Run, Wildfire, and Powder Keg. There's even a cave tour that takes you underneath the park. There's so much to experience here. This is definitely one that you need to spend multiple days at. And finally, at number 1 is Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. This is the second oldest amusement park in America, and over the years, it has transformed into a top-tier destination, becoming known as the roller coaster capital of the world. This was the park where I rode my first roller coaster in Blue Streak. The park is located on a peninsula that juts into Lake Erie and features a great beach along the length of the park. Ever since the late 70s, Cedar Point has grown a reputation of breaking records, most notably in 1989. This is when they started what became known as the Coaster Wars, by installing the first 200-foot continuous circuit coaster in Magnum XL 200. This opened the gates for coasters like Millennium Force, the first Giga Coaster at 310 feet tall, the 420-foot tall Top Thrill Dragster, Valravn, which was the tallest dive coaster at the time of its opening, and Steel Vengeance, which was previously the tallest and fastest hybrid coaster. The lineup in this park is unmatched. You could easily take just about any coaster here, put it in any other park, and it would instantly become that park's star attraction. The park has continued to grow and improve with so many great family attractions, higher quality food options, and a number of improved hotels in the area. The atmosphere at this park is also amazing. You never forget that first time you visit Cedar Point. Even just the drive up the main causeway and seeing the iconic coaster skyline builds up so much excitement. If I could visit this park every year, I absolutely would. There is just no other park quite like Cedar Point. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments what your favorite parks are. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video, and also don't forget to subscribe to Ejector Airtime so that you don't miss any future content.